I greet all of you with a warm, respectful namaste. The namaste is something to enlighten us about ourselves. It has become commonplace now to say it has nothing to do with religion. Namaste. I bow. I offer salutations to Te. In English, capital T-H-A-T, to that. That's something that's nameless, formless, attributeless, and yet all-pervading. In other words, some power, some energy, whatever you may call, and Chaitanya, the spark of life, the spark of creation, which is in everything, in everyone. And for that, this is Namaste, Namahate. I bow to all. And I have loved it ever since I learned it from my very childhood. The theme, envisage, evoke, enlighten. Let me begin with 1999 International Human Rights Day, 10th December. It was at Siri Fort on Khelgaon Marg, where the celebrations were held. And then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee and the whole cabinet and the entire bureaucracy and everyone was there. At the end of the program, Vajpayee ji and he came up on stage for photo op and congratulate. And then in his typical way said, "Arey bhai, suna tha, yahan koi kaidi log bhi karne wale the." तो मैंने कहा तो ये तो है ना सब सामने. He could not recognize them. These were life termers for murder, dacoity, and whatever else. They were not juvenile delinquents. They were big time. I had, and my group had worked with them for 1 month in Tihar jail. And the effect of what we call culture, something that invokes or evokes something higher than what we normally feel, ennobling, something happens. The first day, there was a queue of 60, 80 of them, big made, red eyes. Most of them had big mustaches, and they stood like that looking at this woman, and they were very sort of disdainful. Of course, the jail authorities were there, the DG was there, so we sort of auditioned them. And second day also, but I was working with my students, with my musicians, and trying to tell them, "Baithiye, dekhiye, kuch sochenge apne saath saath. We'll think of something beautiful together." From third day, when I entered, you had to put that ink mark, lest I disappear in the jail somewhere. So they were all standing in a queue, and each one of them came and touched my feet. "Pranam Guruji, Namaste Guruji, Pranam Guruji." I was very surprised. I'm just saying that experience, apart from so many others, really confirmed my firm belief in the goodness of good thought, good speech, and good action. Vichar, Vani, Vyahavar, the interaction. And this is what I've taken as my motto, over and above what Prime Minister Modi has been telling us, as my Swachhata Abhiyan, my mission, that unless we develop good qualities in us, how can we think of, acha jhadu laga diya, so what? Man mein jhadu lagaya ki nahi? Dil mein lagaya ki nahi? Is your heart clean? Are your thoughts good? Is your speech good? Doesn't hurt people? Sometimes we have to hurt people for a good reason, but not venomous, not poisonous. Coming to the issue that I really want to bring in my short talk today is that I had met a minister just before coming here, Delhi minister, and he brought up the name of Bharat Ratna Sachin Tendulkar. That, there may be a Sachin Tendulkar. He did not finish his education, but then he went all for cricket. And I said, why didn't you also say, or why do you not say, somebody can be Sonal Mansingh also? And he sort of, yes, sorry. No, the point is, A, that sports or films, sports, you count. There is digitization. How many runs, how many goals, how many shots, etc., etc. How many boundaries, how many sixers. Films, how many films you made, how many were box office hits. But dance and music are amorphous, ambiguous, intangible fields. How can I count how many hearts I have won? Can I? No. I wish I could. But at this age, I meet people, they say, oh, we heard about you from my grandfather. Oh, my uncle, my chacha was totally in love with you. Some minister, some commissioner, somebody says, ma'am, saw you when I was in third standard, when I was in college. These are the kind of awards, intangible, that we win because of the very intangibility of culture. It hits you much more than seminars and dharanas. They have their own place. I'll give you a small example how we can evoke, envisage first, and then evoke to enlighten. My solo dance theatre, Draupadi, in 1994, it was premiered. Solo dance theatre. The script was written 6 times. I was the only performer on stage. There are unresolved issues and questions even today. And my communication brought about some of these. When Draupadi is brought in the court of the Kauravas, and after she is thrown by Dushasana, she wants to know what happened, why this treatment, and she is told, now you are our dasi, our slave, like your husbands. Your first husband, Yudhishthira, lost you. He vejured you. And she asks Bhishma, Drona, everyone, 3 questions. What is satya, truth? What is dharma, not religion, dharayatiti dharma, that which upholds the social fabric, indeed the whole creation? And what is niti? Niti, today there's a Niti Ayog, but niti in the larger sense of the word. Ni nayati, that which leads you on. From there also comes the word neta, leader. So what is the niti in this court? Where is it leading you? Till today, I'm afraid to say, there has been no answer. And we are still searching for answers in all our legal laws and rules and discussions. So Draupadi hit the audiences so much again and again that the speaker, Shivraj Patil, invited me to do it, perform it for the parliamentarians. 300 MPs were there, some of my friends were there, and they said, when the question is asked Draupadi directly, they were slipping, they were slinking. And next day, I met Patil over high tea and all at his place. He said, Sonal ji, kamal ho gaya. इतना फ़ोन मुझे कभी नहीं आया है, कल रात से लेके अभी तक टेलीफोन आ रहे हैं, चिट्ठियाँ आ गई, मैं आपको दिखाना चाहता हूँ. And most of them said, in our constituencies, we were not aware of. Abhi to women's, the gender issues are very much on the fore. Think of 1994, more than 20 years. And he later on told me that he has received reports and how they are trying to do this and that. See, the question of evoking and enlightening is that somewhere it hits a nerve which you cannot ignore. It pops up somewhere and you take issues in hand. It has hurt you somewhere. Therefore, I come back to evoke, the word evoke and envisage. That Indian dance, जो कहा कि ये तो नृत्यांगने डांस करती हैं. अच्छा, तो डांस करके बताइए. सुर में, ताल में, swara laya. And in fact, I had proposed workshops for parliamentarians because the work in parliament is very besura, very betala. I'm glad you agree. It is not tate teta, but it is indeed, because the rhythm of our breath in and out, if it is not in rhythm, in sync, we are sick, we are unwell. If the rhythm of the circulation of blood in our body, if it's not reaching every little pore and every little point, then there is anemia, there is all kinds of sicknesses. The dancer of the Indian genre, classical dancer, what we call Shastriya, we learn to move body from top to toe. Each eyebrow independently, the eyes, horizontal, vertical, in a circle, each finger, shoulders, elbow, various forms of waist, knee, ankles, on heel, on toe, flat, on side. And what you call reflexology is all woven in naturally. I've never had a day's headache in my life. I'm 74 now. Not a day's headache. So, Indian dance, I just stand here, and if I had time, next time, whenever, I don't want to impinge on that time, I can just tell you a short, quick story without any setting, any lighting, any fancy trappings. How does that happen? We create a whole mythology larger than life right in front of you in this space. Because I envisage that and I evoke that rasa in you, that taste in you, and we share, at that moment, we share something very precious, intangible, therefore more precious. And that enlightens you in a way you never even imagined. For example, if I say, I've done that very often because now I'm very much with it. I don't live in caves, so I say, yo, baby, yo. And they say, Guruji, yeah, yo. Just close it. Just close it. It becomes Simha Mukha Hasta Mudra. It becomes Simha Mukha. Simha is sher, lion, Mukha, face. But each mudra has so many vinyogas. If I do this, cow. If I do this, deer. If I do this, sher. Plus so many things. So like that, I try to communicate that Indian dance is not far away from you. All of you seated here now are dancing, acting, reacting. The navarasas are on your face, you don't even know. I can see. And these are all the material that we have to create. beauty. 1983, I was in a 6-country tour in Southeast Asia. I love Southeast Asia, by the way. America ho gaya, bahut Canada ho gaya. Cambodia, at that time, was just recovering from Pol Pot, the horrible dictator who had killed his own. There was genocide of unimaginable numbers. कितने 10 million या 1 million लोग मार दिया उसने. Then, at the end of the tour in Cambodia, on the way to the airport, we were invited to the Royal Palace, Narotam Singh Hanuk, and the Darbar Hall on the river Mekong. Mandap, no walls, but pillars and nice roof and beautiful mosaic floor. And that is where the Cambodian Royal Ballet was waiting for us. Tall gentleman, the principal, the director. I and my 8 musicians were seated. 45 boys in frayed shirts and little thin frayed pants. They did the Hanuman dance. Fantastic. And then little girls in very coarse pink dhotis still here, little blouses tied here, little judis, and little aluminum belts. They did the Apsara dance with such upturned smiles that I'd just seen 2 days ago in Angkor Wat temple. I was in 7th heaven. Then they sat and did all the mudras like us in Vajrasana. They sat at the end of it. When director came, he introduced 3 teachers, 1 lady, 2 gentlemen, 3 out of 100 who had survived Pol Pot. Then he pointed to them and said, "Madam, they are all orphans." And I just read the book, Killing Fields, and I'd been to the so-called Museum of Interrogation in Phnom Penh. Untold, unbelievable tortures. And each child had seen their family, their parents, their loved ones either being pushed with bayonets in the ditches, being shot, being maimed, being tortured. And they had danced with upturned smiles, creating such beauty. We wept. I tell you this, I share this to tell you, who does not have problems in life? We all have. But to enlighten and to evoke, we need to transform all these happenings collectively and individually to reach transcendence. And that transcendence we call Ananda. Ananda is the deep ocean, and all these happenings are like ripples that rise and fall. So I leave you with this idea of rasa, ananda. Thank you.